Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to Ian's Adventures once again in the great outdoors. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. Enjoy the video. Lavvus, people put them down as being silly bits of kits in some cases. You know, I'll just buy one for my kids or whatever. It's a really good, tough piece of kit, and as long as you're willing to carry it, it's a brilliant asset to your gear. It's like I say, it's the weight and the fact that when it gets wet through, it weighs a little bit more, but for me that's not a problem. So yeah, this is possibly the heaviest setup I'm going to be taking out, because it also includes the utility belt, so I can build and mess around with a few things. We'll be doing the food video as per usual, but for now let's just walk into the woods and enjoy it. See you in a minute. Who knows about camping will know that it's not safe to camp under trees like that. And if you look at the ground, you'll see it's snarled with all these branches, which means it's not safe. But if you also look, there's all this wood on the floor and all these stones, and you can understand why people would think to themselves, oh, what a wonderful place to camp. And from what I can tell, some people have. But don't camp under trees like that, especially this time of year when the trees are drained and they have no sort of energy in them, because that's when the winds and such like, that's when they start to drop the branches, and you don't want to be around when a nice big branch comes down, because all it is, you have to walk through woods and hear a big tree or a branch fall. It'll just be a nice big reminder not to. I've never known anybody be hit by a branch myself, but I don't intend being somebody that other people hear about. So onward we go, even if it's not as much wood, if it's a bit more sparse, I want to be safe. Even though I'm in the Lavvu, one of these big branches comes down, it'll go straight through my Lavvu, same with a basher, and it'll hammer you. There's some stuff you can do with bashers where you can put a good solid piece of the wood across the top to offer more protection, but in my experience, stay away from big trees with big overhanging branches, especially at this time of year. Alright, so we've got from under the big trees, and now we're here. We've got an area here, you see, like that. Maybe that's the only thing that could possibly come down, but it looks safe enough, and I'm over here to start with anyway. All these branches up here, there's only sticks, so I'm going to be good with that. You'll see I've got my Bergen off the ground, got my coat off the ground, and I'm now wearing just my softy jacket, my utility belt. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find an area just here, so I can mark out where my Lavvu is going to go. Once my Lavvu's up, I can work out which, well basically I need to work out which is front and back, and I'd like that over there to be front, and that's going to be the back, and then after that we can play around and make a fireplace. I've seen some rocks and stuff that I can use, so I can pull them into shape, and I'll come back to you when I've got that done. But notice for my, because I'm a stealth camper, I don't want people seeing my tripod sort of glistening as I'm walking through wood, so I've basically sprayed it black. It doesn't matter if it gets scratched or whatever. So it's also run through the bag. Okay, this is a Crusader 90+20. A lady on Facebook, I think it were, or a gentleman, I can't remember now, asked me how I pack it. I'm not going to get everything out of my rucksack. I have got a video online showing me how my rucksack is packed. Got both pouches on. I've got the Lavvu there down on the back. Just on the inside of the hood, just there, I've got my reflector, so I'll show you how I'm putting that into the bag as well. So always make sure you've got everything off the ground, because it's not worse than getting your gear wet through. So if anybody's interested in what I've got on my utility belt, there I've got my saw, then I've got my multi-tool, around there I've got my knife. There's a video online of this as well. Down here I've got my Fisker axe, and around there I've got a utility bag. And that's basically it. And some people might say that's overkill, but I'm dreadfully dreadful at going out and losing gear. Right guys, some people have asked me what I put. Is that I'll just take this off a minute. I'll just hang it on this tree, shall we? That's nice, isn't it? Right, I'm going to show you how I pack my bag, more or less ish, main stuff. Right, that's my Lavvu bag. Alright, I can just go down there for a minute. I've got my GoPro stick there, nice and safe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the Crusader 80+20, yeah? I've still got a bit of room for stuff in here. I've rammed that in top. And the reason I put this in top, I'll probably cover it in a bit, is this is the double one. And a lot of people go on about these reflector pads where they reflect the heat away and keep the warmth in. Now if you only have a single one, you can have reflect it back at you or reflect it away. But if you get one of these doubles, yeah, you can turn it that way around, it says. Oh, it's going with wind a bit here, we'll get a bit of the breeze on. Turn it that way around, I can put that underneath my sleeping bag, underneath my mat, and I can reflect the cold away and keep the warm in. Alright? That's going to be fun. I'll just pop that down there. In fact, I'll use that as something to put my gear on. That'll be good. Inside here, as per usual, you've got the little band, and then you've got all these pulley systems. So we're going to do then. In the top of my rucksack, my Bergen, I have a 2 litre water bag. Now I never put water inside my dry sack because all it takes is for that to bust and you're stuffed, right? So that's a 2 litre dry bag, and that one is Liquidator 2 litre. Let's just put that down. And inside here, some people will have seen this before, but I've got my Army ripstop dry sack, okay? And inside there, straight on the top, because I know I'll have put my Lavvu up, I've got my ground sheet, so that's going to be going over there. So the ground sheet's going to be going in. Now if I'm getting cold, yeah, if it turns nippy, straight away I've got another softy. So this is the softy jacket. Okay, I've got this softy top on, and I've got this little fleece layer. Then I've got my softy jacket that can go on. So I'll just hang that on there. Got a couple of motorbikes going backwards and forwards. I've got what's called my fire tin in case I want to put ashes. I put ashes in there after I've had my fire, and I can just drag that inside my tent. And if you've seen the video about the Lavvu, you'll know I've got a little chimney out. I leave the top bit open so that the fumes and smoke can go out the top, so I ain't got the issue with the carbon monoxide. And I've got my lovely hat, keep my noggin warm later. Down from there, got my little cosy seat pad to sit on. Then I've got my thermarest, dry sack. Probably won't use that, that'll just go down as another layer underneath. I always say 1 layer underneath you is worth 3 layers on top, so that's probably going to be another layer underneath me, unless it gets really cold, in which case I'll get in it. Right, winter's coming. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get me, in the bottom, I'm going to get out now, but in the bottom of there, I've got my military Arctic sleeping bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a jungle sleeping bag inside the Arctic one, and that's going to be toasty. I will be warm tonight. I don't mind being cold, but why be cold when you don't need to? And that, my friends, is the main area of my bag. Okay, I will put that down on the floor so I can put my gear on top of it, just in case I get any moisture coming through. Right, then you get the side pouches, the rocket pouches, and inside here I've got things like my gloves. I've got my thicker gloves in the top of my bag. I've also got my bushcraft gloves, and I've got my stuff for my bannock bread, all sorts of stuff. We're going to go through that in a bit anyway, so I'll just give you an idea what's in the mainstay of my bag. I'll see you in a bit. Okay guys, you can see that the Lavvu obviously has up. We've got the ground sheet down now. The liner of my Bergen is now in the doorway. Got my little sleeping bag in. My other sleeping bag, which was on the bottom of my Bergen, in the separate compartment, is in its own dry sack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that inside. Bouncing bomb, bless her. I'm going to get her inside. And I'm going to put the other sleeping bag inside it. And I'm going to be toasty. in fact, now that I think about it, I think I'll use it as a quilt. So all I'm going to do, and I can get it inside if I want to later. So I'm going to unzip that down because it goes all the way down. It's got the box bottom. All I'm going to do is throw that on top and I'm good to go. So let's have a look, shall we? So see, now what you got is you got the ground sheet. Okay, I've got this in the doorway, I've got the ground sheet. On top of the ground sheet I've got that thermal reflective layer. Then I've got the bivy bag and I can put my sleep system inside that if I want to. Then I've got my thermarest. Then I've got my bouncing bomb, and then on top of that I've got the jungle sleeping bag. And I can assure you, there's my chimney, I'm going to be absolutely toasty in there. Because I've also brought, which I didn't mention, I've also brought some of the gel fluid. And the gel fluid that I've got gives off a tiny bit, but a tiny bit of carbon monoxide, but next to nothing. I can put that in my burn tin, and every now and again if it gets a little bit cool I can just put that on, and that can be burning down here in the corners. So there you go. That's the sleep system inside there. Okay guys. Right, now the sleep system, the Lavvu's been put up and all been sorted. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to shoot out there and I get myself some rocks. I've seen some piles of rocks and such like. And I grab hold of some of them, fetch them over and make myself a little fireplace here. And see if I can make it so I can cook a lot of various stuff on it. Get a fire going in there, making sure I've got stones underneath it so it don't burn and damage the ground. Sometimes in certain environments you can get ash or burn, you get burn into the root system, and that can continue back into the tree and that can cause a fire, so we don't want that. So what I'm going to do, even though that's not going to happen here because the ground's wet through anyway and these aren't the sort of environment where that would happen, it's a case of keeping yourself in a routine. So I'm going to be able to put stones down, build a fireplace around it, a bit like the one I did at the other end, right down the other end of the woods, okay, when I did this sort of thing and I built the shelter. That kind of thing, I'm going to build it, but I'm not going to build it too far away from the Lavvu, simply because I want the heat to come back in, and secondly it don't really matter about the tent so much because it's spark proof. Because it's thick canvas, it'll sort of won't be bothered so much about the sparks and stuff like that. So, and it's got the little chimney area up in the top, so if any smoke comes in it's just going to go straight out the roof anyway. So I'll shoot over there and I get myself some stones, and once I've done that I'm going to start building up my fire wood and such like, the fire store. See you in a bit. Okay, so there you see, that's it. That's the fireplace. You can see that the entire bottom is stoned out. Look at that lovely big rock I found, that's lovely. So I've got all that whole way around, so it's totally enclosed, okay, stone floor. So I can have my fire on that, it's not going to damage the ground. When I'm done, they'll be dispersed and thrown away. And if you just look back, that's the distance between the fire and the Lavvu. Alright, so I'll be able to sit out here and get myself a rock or something to sit down there, cook. The heat will be filtering back into the Lavvu and I'll be nice and toasty. But I'll not be getting that going until later when it starts getting dark. Till then, I'm going to be going out there and getting myself some birch bark and such like, ready to be able to start my fire later with my fire steel. And a lot of people will talk about fire steels that this is something really cool. It's not, it's just basically a match, isn't it? All you got to do is make sure your tinder's dry and nice and build your bird nest or whatever it is you're doing, especially birch bark, and then just spark it up. I did have an issue with them for some reason and I couldn't get my head around it when especially like getting a lighter out. So cock-a-doodle-doo, so I can look forward to that, look forward to my dinner later on. Okay guys, I don't want to damage this tree. My knife again, I love this knife. MP Custom Blades and Bushcraft. Thanks Mike. Right then, okay, so what I'm going to do here, see this? I'm I'm basically taking a very, very fine layer. I'm not going through the bark. I don't want to damage the tree, especially with the frost coming. So all I'm doing is that, oh, you can do that and grab it down, and you'll get this fine, really fine birch bark tinder. That's what we're after. And you see, the front pocket of my softie can be utilised as a tinder bag. Isn't that lovely? So that's all we're doing. We're just getting this fine birch bark tinder. And nature will like me for it. Because that'll mend in no time. So it just goes in there and in there. Smashing. Remember, the other thing you can do, instead of scraping down, you can just cut into that, watch. And then peel it away. You end up with these little swirls, so to speak. So you go like that, cut it in, grab it, and pull it away, and you get these little swirls. They're smashing. So I'm building my little bird nest together with them. And I'll go and get myself lots of little twigs and other burny stuff. There you go. See? Little tinder bundle. Upward and onward. Right, I've got as much of that as I need. I've got a nice little bungalow there. So I'm going to keep that in there, and that's going to keep it nice and dry. And people might say to me, what are you going to do if it's raining? What do you do about get started to fire if it's raining? That's why I bring the little fire tin. I've got a little tin. There's no cook tin. What I'll do is I'll put down a piece of rock down just inside the door of the Lavvu, and then I will put all my stuff inside, my tinder and everything, get a little fire going inside there, and top it up with little sticks. And then the doorway and the little chimney bit will allow circulation of air, and I'll have a little fire inside my Lavvu. But as it is, I'm not expecting any bad weather in honesty, so cock on. And I go around now and get lots of 8 little sticks, and then slightly bigger sticks. I think they're called pencil sticks, and then you've got slightly larger sticks upwards, and build it up so I've got a good backdraw firewood. Round here is a lot of dead standing, so to speak. If you look over there, there's a lot of trees which have been sort of fallen out of these. These are the trees I didn't want to stop under. I didn't want to stop under these because there are some big boughs which look a bit dodgy, but where I am over there, it's alright where I am. Okay, so I'm going to go and get myself some wood. You know, there's a lot of texts on Christmas. I thought I'd throw this in. And one of them is that it's from the alien sort of beliefs. Is that, you know, baby Jesus, some people believe that he was a breed of alien in conjunction with humans, a bit like the Nephilim, you know, the giants, but maybe a different breed, I don't know. Anyway, so there you've got baby Jesus. Mary never got pregnant to her husband, was never pregnant, she was impregnated, so that's where they get the sort of cross-breeding thing from. And then you get the, sorry, I thought I heard something. And then you get the star in the sky is believed to be a spaceship, and the kings apparently were told to take gold, frankincense and myrrh. Frankincense and myrrh being something you would put with a dead body to stop it from sort of rotting and smelling. Hence that's how what was used for the dead body. And gold was the payment for the baby. So they'd give Joseph and Mary gold in payment for the child, and then they would kill the child because they didn't want these aliens impregnating humans and having the sort of crossbreed, which apparently is what we are. I don't know. So we're supposedly a cross between aliens and the original humans, and so that's what they did, and that's why they were hiding from, is it Herod? Because Herod was apparently in on it and all, and he was trying to find him because he knew that if we had this new breed of human, they would be more superior to the humans already on Earth, and that they would take over, is it the Romans and all that business? I think the Romans, aren't they good with that? But whoever it was at the time, and it would obviously be wiped out, the human race would be wiped out, and then this crossbreed would take over. So that's just something I read and saw on the internet, is where Jesus is apparently the crossbreed between humans and aliens, and the star was the spaceship. The spaceship is also seen in the Bible and all that business, all interlinked, and it all apparently makes sense. But does it make sense? Because there's a lot of these things that don't make sense, but apparently they seem to, which really accounts for most religions in honesty. But to say, I'm not religious myself, but some people might be. I don't want to sort of put a cloud over that. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that in. Ramble. Right, first of all guys, I found myself a nice log to sit on. Have you checked this out? Look at that for a log, got my little seat pad on it. Heaven. Right, I'm going to get this fire going because otherwise it's going to be too dark for you to see what we get up to. Got a bit of tinder down there, so I'm going to stick some sticks on it, get it bolted up pretty quick as I can. Here we go. I'm going to use my neck knife, by the way, again, made by MP blades. I've just tightened that up wrong way, that's it. And that's all it is. That's all it is. Right there, just go, dink, got him. Okay. So, fire still, one I used before. Nice and easy, does it every time. Let's see what we can create. Get that around there. And all this is birchy bark. Come on, let's break it up a bit, break it up a bit. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I just want to bungle it up a bit better. That's all it were. It needed a little bit more attention. Get back to you in a minute, my battery's dying. But I'll see if I can get this in just before my battery dies. Fingers crossed. She's going now. I think I took it for granted a bit. The ground round here is it's all wet, everything's wet. It's this time of year, isn't it? So all it wanted was ruffling up in my hands, you know, like that, ruffling up. But normally in here, all this birch bark, it just bolts straight up. It's never a problem. So I'll get that going. I'll push it further over there, so I've got my fire in that locate over there. Try not to set me. I'll get some of that on straight away. Get that smoking. Everything's wet. So I can get some of that dried out on top of that finer tinder. If I'm going to be honest, I'm doing well for light. It's 3:30, normally getting dark by now. I think it's because the sky's so clear. You can see here, I've rigged this little devil up here. I've done it by, if you look around here, I've put a piece of rock on I've stuck that into the ground, stuck a piece of rock onto it, it goes up onto here. I've sheared them 2 bits off and just hung my pan on, and that's going to give me water out during the night. I've got my water in there. In a bit I'm going to get my bannock bread on, so that's already cooked for later when I get my curry done. The bannock bread is chili bannock bread. I've put chilies and stuff in it. Again, mix it up in bag, make it all nice, and then flatten it down and stick it out onto one of these, either onto the top of my back of my fire tin, or which is probably preferable in fire, or I'll just stick it on one of my rocks. But I've now got this going again because I'm having a cup of coffee. Nice cup of cha. Alright guys. Hiya guys. But it's still a little bit smoky. I've just put some more wood on. All the wood in here is wet through, so you get that smoke off it. As you can see, it's going quite well. Okay, so it's bannock bread time. I've got my coffee done. Now I've got the lid on, keep it nice and warm. Bannock bread, it's in this little bag. All I'm going to do is add water and then mix it up. Well, actually, technically it's in this little bag. It's making my nose run, this smoke. It's good that you can still see me. I mean, the time now, I'm surprised. It's now 4:15, and by this time usually you can't see anything. Just bear with me with smoke, it's making my eyes smart. So what I'm going to do, as I did last time, if you watched my other video making bannock bread, and like I said before, this is the sort of warmer chilly version. There. Leave that like that, that's enough of that get in. and I mix that up. Oh, it's actually it's a better bag, this one. The other one had an hole in it. It was quite amusing. So I'm going to seal that off because it feels like I've got a good amount of water in this. So I'm going to seal that off. I'm just going to mushy that up until it starts turning into like, well, you technically bread dough. Right, people, this bannock bread's a bit wet, so I'm just going to have to roll with it. The pigeon up there having a bit of... Oh, it's a squirrel. A squirrel's come to see me at this time of night. I'm going to end up with mucky hands after this, I know I am. I'll just chuck that on there, that'll just burn away. Okay, I can work with this. I can do this. I'm going to end up with absolutely disgusting hands. But that's what dirt's for, you clean your hands with dirt, did you know that? Right. So I'm going to try and... This is not good. It's not good. It's sticking all on my hands. But what I'll do is I'll leave it there to dry a little bit, to dry some of that off. It's so sticky. What I'm going to do is put it on it. So the less sticky side of that. This is going to end up with lots and lots of sticks in it and stuff. I know it is. I'm not bothered. I'm not shy. Turn it up. Here we go. This is going to be dirty, dirty bannock bread. Mucky bannock bread. Look at that. Burning. This has turned to a nightmare. Ah, it's burning my hand. I'll have to manhandle that. Oh, that is... that's nasty. Alright, yeah. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll split it into two pieces. I'm covered in bannock bread. Alright, flatten it best you can here. Just do what you can. Try and save it. It's gone nasty. Go on, get burning. Burn, you devil. I messed up on my bannock bread. I didn't put enough flour in. But I'm going to eat it anyway because that's how I do. Look at my hands. This is covered in it. This is funny. Oh dear. Oh, it's just nasty. That's nasty. But you never know, do you? You never know what's going to happen. I do. This ain't good. On a scale of 1 to 10, that's nasty. Ian's knackered his bannock bread. Oh, just let it rise. Scrape it off with a knife. I've got to get that off my hands now. How do I get that off my hands? I have to just let it dry and just let it fall off. This is the whole fun of it, isn't it? You know what? I feel like a 5-year-old learning to cook at school. I can't cook. Lucy will tell you I can't cook. I'm not going to make any excuses up for it. You know, Lucy stopped up all night other night putting Christmas tree together. She absolutely loves Christmas. I love Christmas, but she loves it more than I do. And that's saying something. Oh, it's alright. As it's drying, it's looking better. It's going alright. It's not. I'm making excuses if it's a right mess. Ow! I've just burnt myself. This bit's that I'm shooting at. It's all over me bannock. I don't care. I can't cook. I'll just take food out with me. Bannock bread update. It is actually rising. And it definitely looks like a pair of buttocks. It's actually... it's buttock bread. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? It's like a pair of buttocks. It's cracking its arse. I've got bannock buttock bread. Oh dear God. Anyway, I'll keep you updated. Has anybody ever had one of them fires where there's hardly any heat? Well, there's some heat, but hardly any flame coming off, and it's just pounding smoke off. This wood it must be really wet. Right, my bannock bread. Bannock bread. That's the mark. There's a sludge mark that it's left behind, and I've managed to scrape it off with my knife. I'll be cleaning that in a minute. And as you can see, it's there. Alright, it's baking on the bits of wood either side of the fire. This smoke is really reaching out to get me. I have to do something with this. I'm going to bolt it up and get some proper wood into that, because it's all it's doing is just smoking. It's horrible. So yeah, I'm going to get on with that. So I've got one piece of bannock bread there.
And I got one piece of bannock bread there, and they're both baking, they're rising, it's working. Yeah, it got a little bit sloppy at bottom, I'm going to show you. That's one side of buttocks, yeah, and it is rising. You can see chilies in it, you can see it turning it and all, but that's there, and that's cooking away. The other one's cooking away other side over there, so about the time that's done I'll just about be ready for my tea. Right, I've put that new wood on and it's burning a lot better now. I've got my bannock bread on my little tin and that's cooking now, so that's going to be, it's going to be edible. I've saved it. Anyway, I was saying before somebody came down on a bike, the woods where we are at the moment is what I would class as one of the most paranormally active areas of Woodland Woods. We used to come up here and do investigations right up there. We used to have a van full of technical equipment, monitors, real-time audio. We used to be live streaming that out on the web, so people from different countries can actually watch the investigation as it entailed and it unfolded. Things got spooky on quite a few occasions. On one occasion I was sitting up there and I got the parabolic listening device, which basically it's a preamped audio device which is like got a big dome, which looks a bit like one of them things you put on a dog's head when it's gone to the vet, and that, once you push the button, it amplifies the sound in that environment. And this is only up here behind me, and I'm sitting there, there's two of us, and there's somebody else, no sorry, it's three of us, and there's somebody else in the van. Now the person in the van can listen also to that dictaphone, they can hear everything that's going on. They've got recorders and infrared video cameras and everything all set out all over woods, as well as other dictaphones and all sorts of stuff. So there I am, sitting on this like sort of deck chair. There's me here, there's another guy next to me, another guy further away, okay. I've got Davin Addison basically and his nephew sat around the corner now. The guy in the van radioed through, and I've got the headphones on with the parabolic listening device. Now the guy in the van radioed through, because I'm walkie-talkies, to Darren's nephew. And Darren heard him, and Darren's nephew turned around to me, and I'm listening through the parabolic, and said something about Darren said blah blah blah, okay. And I heard in the parabolic listening device this horrible voice that went, and I literally, for the first time I think in my entire life, apart from maybe the time when I was in the that big old mansion at Woodchester Mansion, near close to it, for the second time I proper papped myself. What he said isn't what I heard. Now there's a theory that these energies can manipulate sound waves, so if you hear a noise or a voice, it can re-augment that sound and replace it and make it sound like whatever it wants to say. And it sounded horrible, and it literally sounded like a bloke shouting at me. Could it be my imagination? Maybe it could have done, but it affected me so badly. And I don't scare easy, as you can see. I'll sleep out in woods on my own. It affected me so badly, I just stood up, rigid, in the middle of the woods, and stood there swearing. I threw parabolic listening device on the floor. I've only ever used it once since. I do not like it. I don't like putting it on with me yet, because I'm just getting ready for this thing to happen again. It's giving me a bit of phobia, a parabolic listening device. If you want to know what a parabolic listening device is, look online. It's like a gun, kids buy them, and so you can hear things at a long distance. Alright, that's what it were, and it scared me out to death. So that's, we believe there's something here. We don't know what it is. You can sense it. There's a lot of paranormal groups that won't actually turn my bannock bread around, won't actually come in here. It's supposed to be something demonic or whatever it is. This is also the woods, remember, where I was laid in my hammock and I could hear a little kid singing, and then as I looked over the side of my hammock I saw what looked like the shape of a child's head bob down at the side of my hammock. Something could happen tonight. This is one of the reasons I don't like using a tent, is because when I'm out in woods I like to be able to see around me. I like to be aware of my environment, and once you get into that tent, when I get in that Lavvu tonight, the doors close, I don't know what's happening out here. I don't like that. I've got this phobia about people creeping up on me or strange things happening. So I tend to use a basher and an open bivvy bag, a hoop bivvy or whatever it is I'm using. But it is a creepy place, and I think another reason I come here is because it tests me, it pushes me boundaries. I like the adrenaline of being scared, and believe me, on that night when we had all that gear set up, that scared me, and it scared them to death because of my reaction, and I stood up, started swearing and threw it on the floor. And it was something as simple as somebody talking to somebody on a walkie-talkie, and then him talking to me, just explaining what he'd said in front van. So there you go. That's a little story, a little paranormal insert there. This fire's going lovely now. Do you know, before I was saying that the fire wasn't burning properly That's another thing I've found. Some places are a bit creepy. You tend to find the fire doesn't want to burn. It sort of stays really, really low, and it's got like a black sort of mass or aura around it. I think it's just down to the wood you're burning, in honesty. I don't see anything in that. But at the minute, I've got this different kind of wood. I've got some of it drying out and stuff, and that's burning with a lovely yellow flame, giving off loads of heat, and there's hardly any smoke. The other stuff that I've got, and I've still got some of it left, is being from a different tree down here. It's quite dense wood. I think it's got water in it, and I've been putting that on, and it's not been wanting to burn, but I've forced it to. So it's all looking good up to now, chaps. I'm enjoying myself. From where I am now, I can see a few little lights in distance. Other than that, it's pitch black, and I'm just sat here in the woods on my own, and it's ace. And anybody who goes wild camping will feel the freedom of that. It's like taking yourself back to nature. And yeah, there's a paranormal, spooky aspect of it, and that's been going back thousands of years. A lot of people who stop out in the woods, a lot of time, a lot of people won't stop on their own. They believe in demons and these negative energies, and that's where we come into all these things like gnomes and all that kind of stuff. And people believed in that a long time ago. A lot of it were down to ignorance, but you know, sometimes there's a little bit of bearing. What were they seeing? What were they experiencing? Was it down to the fact that they were uneducated and were sort of misconstruing things? Who's to say? But they were experiencing something, and something was scaring them, and they didn't like to go out into the woods on their own. But what I'm doing now, guys, has to be seen as blasphemy. The only bit of wood I can find is this, and it's rotten. It's got a big rotten streak straight through it. I made a spoon. I ain't got them really nice. Wood's going, the fire's going nice now. I ain't got one of them nice hollowing out sort of chisels that you use to make spoons with. So basically, I'm using this gorgeous knife, my beautiful knife, to create this horrendous spoon. The last spoon was a masterpiece, and it went to my bride, and I'm quite sure he worships it to this day. But I can't make spoons. I'm not very good at cooking. I'm not very good at making spoons. If anybody out there can show me how to make spoons, I'd be very grateful. Rob says he's going to show me how to use a bow drill in order to be able to make my own fire, which I will get round to doing. But as now, I'm trying to make a spoon, and if anybody wants this spoon when it's done, let me know. But if you have the spoon, you have to take it camping and use it. I think that's only fair. If I'm willing to put the energy in to create this masterpiece, then anybody out there who requests the spoon must do it, use it one of their camps and create a video of them using it. It's only fair, isn't it? That's how far we got. This is in the early stages of its birth. Alright? We'll see how this spoon goes. I could have picked a nicer small, there's a bit of wood. It's only going to be a little spoon. I ain't going to know how it's going to turn out. If it's all like last one, I'll need locking up for it. Right. If you can see me hacking away at this, anybody who's a spoon maker is going to go, oh no, just put it down, don't make a spoon. I'm making a spoon. I'll see you in a minute. Okay everyone, it's that wonderful time again. It's dinner time. Dinner time. It is dinner time. What we got? What's in the box? Okay, I've got a couple of, what's it, in case I decide to have breakfast in the morning. It's Quaker Oats. But we've got, if I can read it, Bombay potatoes, cock on, and some rice. It's rice anyway, it's like curried rice, and the homemade campfire bannock bread, which I'm not sure what that looks like anymore. It's gone a little bit dry now because it's been a while, but it's good. We're going to eat it. So what I'm going to do is, on the stimmy tatey stuff in there, piling up to the fire, keep turning it around as you do to make sure it's getting enough heat, and then we're going to get that going. We're going to pile the rice in, and then we're going to get my bannock bread. I'm going to start dipping it out and eating it like a kebab. I've also got my coffee here. That's going to go in there. The water for my nice cup of coffee. Smashing. See you in a minute. Okay people, pretty dark now, ain't it? Right, okay, so dinner's done. There it is. Smashing. Look at that. Steaming. And I've got my coffee and I've got my bannock bread. I've just got that down here to warm it up. I can't wait for this. I can't actually see my dinner at the minute. I've had to put my glove on in order to be able to see what I were doing. But oh, it's chilled, like sort of curried bannock bread. It's got chilies and stuff in it. It's going to be hot, that. With me curry. Very nice. It's like naan bread, really. But I think this is easier. I'm not sure if it's easier to make this than naan bread. I don't know, maybe next time it'll be naan bread. This wood on this fire, it's hot, but it's not wanting to flame. I think it's just either full of sap or something like that, or it's wet. But there doesn't seem to be a great deal of smoke. There's some smoke, I don't get it. I'll fight with it. Maybe it's just the kind of wood it is, but I'll fight with it. Early on it was roasting, it was flaming. Hi guys, it's getting particularly cold now. It's 10 to 10 at night, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some nuts out of the little... I've just seen some mice while I went to get some wood and I felt a bit bad for them, so I'll put some there and I'll put some over here and we'll see if they come and get them. I'll have a look tomorrow morning. Bless them. It must be hard work for them. I don't need them. There you go, they're there and that rock over there, so we'll see how that goes. Well, got to that time in Lavvu, in me bouncing bomb with my water bottle. This is awesome. I'm not used to this. I'm used to laid out there with seeing all scenery in front of me. I've got me 9-hour candle here, but I'm not going to bother with it, I don't need it. Absolutely belting day, belting night. I've loved it around fire, cooking my dinner and everything. It's been really nice. Well, it's a good night from me everybody till tomorrow morning. I'm going to enjoy the luxury of the Lavvu, which is for me really, it is. And I will see you all in the morning when I get up and have myself a cup of coffee. Then it's all a case of packing up and taking a nice steady stroll back to the car. Well, good night, God bless, see you soon, bye for now. Good morning everyone, it's now 9:15. I'm normally up for 7 and gone. It shows you the difference, doesn't it? The Lavvus are amazing. It kept a lot of heat in here last night. It went down to -2. I was toasting my sleeping bag. The only area in here that's damp is just above my head from the condensation from my face, and I think it's because the moisture froze onto the side of Lavvu, and as the temperature's gone back up, it's melted. But that was great. I've really enjoyed myself, so I'm going to get up now. I don't think I'm even going to bother with a cup of coffee. I don't think I'm going to be bothered. If I want to, I can just get my little stove kicked up and I can make myself a drink. Just to finish up, as I'm packing down, you'll notice the first thing I get rid of is my fire. I've dispersed all the rocks all over, you can't see them. I've kicked leaves on them and everything. I've also totally, I had about a litre of water left, totally doused the fire, stamped it into the ground. It's totally gone, and I basically covered that with leaves. And where it is there, you can't see, it's gone, the fire's gone. Always remember when you get the stones, when you put them back down on the ground, make sure the green part or the area where the weather would have got to is on top, so nobody can tell that it's been moved or shifted. The big rock there, so I'm going to leave it there, that'll give me a sign to let me know where this place is in future. As I get all this down now, pop it in my rucksack and have a quick chat on the way home. That's when I'll set it off for now. I'll see you in a bit. Again, right, it's time for the proverbial once over, just to make sure the campsite's nice and clean. That's where my campsite were, and I basically just pushed my rock over. There's no steam, no sign that I was ever there. You can see by the rest of the woods. The pack's all packed up, as you can see. There's nothing there. I've even thrown a few sticks and stuff on it, you know, just to make it look as if nobody's been there. All happy. So now it's time to take a walk off. I'm going to say goodbye from here because there's no point in me doing it on the way home. It's only the same as what you saw on the way in.
thank you very much for watching. It does mean a lot to me that you're watching, because it's not because I want to be seen specifically, it's because I want to motivate people to coming out and doing what I do and showing people how I go about doing it, and that I look after environment and the gear that I use. It's my way of putting something back, because I'd been here anyway. I love coming out camping and wild camping. Great for clearing the head and getting yourself reconnected to nature. So there we go, that's it. Thank you very much for watching from Ian's vlog. I'm going to keep it as Ian's vlog. We're going to change the name to Wandering Wanderer and all sorts of stuff, Rambling Rambler and also probably not going to keep it Ian's vlog. If it's not broken, don't mend it. I am getting subscription build up now. It's a case of getting my name known, and it's a case of people jumping on board and watching the videos, because I understand a lot of people can't get out of the house, and these videos basically take people on my little adventures, micro adventures as I like to call them, and those people have messaged me, and once or twice where I've said I've had enough, I'm not doing the vlog because I ain't had many subscribers and views. People have said please don't stop, because I've got an issue with my knees or my hips and I don't get a chance to get out, and I like watching your videos and sort of blah blah, and that's really a boost for me. It would just be nice to get more people on board so that more people are getting to enjoy the positive aspect of this sort of little journey, and I've got to try and learn to get rid of the negative side of things, the people who try and spoil it. See you in a bit then. Have a good one. Bye for now.